Minneapolis, Minneapolis. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the January 28th, 2026 Wednesday edition. I am Scott Leisure. Can I take one quick moment to shout out to the people that are out there chasing their dream? You know, the people that wake up every morning with a passion, a vision, a goal. You know, there might not always be a clear path. Okay, let me back that up. There is never a clear path. That is how you grow. And that is how the path to whatever it is you are chasing makes you stronger. The journey and life's obstacles that want to jump up and detour you from the path are there to bring you strength. So, if your goal is to sell 100 items of something you are creating, just be prepared. You might think that you're just going to sit on your couch, binge some Netflix, and work on whatever it is you're creating, and then put an ad up on Nextdoor, and all of your stuff is going to be sold. And you know what? I hope that happens. But generally, it is usually going to take a few extra steps. And some of the steps that you think might just fall into place won't. That's all I'm saying. Man, Scott is really being a downer on this week's edition of my favorite weekly podcast, Wednesday edition. No, not a downer. More of a motivator. Scott Leisure, motivational speaker. Okay, maybe not. Obstacles facilitate growth by forcing you out of your comfort zones. They build resilience and foster critical, creative, problem-solving skills. They also function as catalysts for self-discovery. They reveal hidden strengths, passions, and character traits like courage and patience. Overcoming challenges turns setbacks into stepping stones for future success. Amen for goals and people chasing goals. Once again, as I've mentioned before, we are discussing productive, healthy, and beneficial goals. If your mindset is, hot damn, Scott's right, that Circle K ain't gonna rob itself, you may want to step back and reassess your goals. Reassess. I hope your goals are more along the lines of, hey, Scott, I want to take up learning a new language. Or, hey, Scott, I want to sell my sourdough bread. Or, hey, Scott, I want to be president of Venezuela. A goal can truly be something good or bad, I guess. I like to think that the Wednesday edition community is out to better themselves every day, though. Wasn't that one of our resolutions, to make good choices, people? I want to take a minute to look at the story of a guy who did just that, made good choices until he didn't. His name is Ryan James Wedding, a Canadian who had goals of becoming an Olympic snowboarder. So, at 15 years old, he made the Canadian national ski team. He won a bronze medal in the parallel giant slalom event at the 1999 Junior World Championship and a silver medal in the 2001 Junior World Championships. At the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, he competed for Team Canada in the men's parallel giant slalom, where he finished 24th. And then he quit. I guess you could say he fulfilled his dream of becoming an Olympic snowboarder, right? But Ryan had other dreams. After the Olympics, he moved back to Canada and enrolled in college. Well, that lasted a couple years. He decided that wasn't a goal for him. So he embarked on a new goal in real estate. Remember the part earlier when we were talking about healthy, productive goals? Well, Ryan was financing his real estate endeavor by growing marijuana at a warehouse with like 7,000 plants. People, that's a lot of weed. It seemed like this goal might be working out, though. Until the Royal Canadian Mounted Police raided the place and found a shotgun, some ammunition, and, $10 million worth of cannabis. Wedding was not on the property at the time, and there was not enough evidence to charge him. This would be an example of one of the obstacles we were discussing. So Ryan decided this would just be a setback, and he hooked up with some Iranian and Russian cocaine smugglers. What could go wrong? You have to hand it to him, though, for not giving up, right, people? In 2008, he sold coke to a U.S. agent and spent like 4 years in prison. But that didn't stop Ryan from aspiring to achieve even loftier goals. According to authorities, after his release, Wedding fled to Mexico and became a high-ranking member of the Sinaloa Cartel. That's Mexican's largest cartel, Sinaloa. He had created this giant criminal enterprise and even landed on the FBI's list of the 10 most wanted fugitives. Amen for achieving your goals, right? So this past week, FBI Director Kash Patel announced that Ryan Wedding had surrendered and he is now in custody. Amen for justice. Amen for the FBI. And why not? Amen for Kash Patel. Cash. That's right. You know it. Don't forget. Cash Friday is in 2 days, people. Get your cash out of the ATM on Friday and help keep cash alive by keeping the dollar in circulation by spending it at a small business or with an artist. Someone trying to fulfill healthy, productive goals, right? Last week, the approval rating slipped a bit from like a 190 the week before to something like a 150 last week. But let's do this. Let's ask ourselves one question. Did we give our best? Because, as we know, that is the only true approval we need. So, what have we learned so far on this week's edition of Wednesday Edition? Productive goals that enhance life and bring abundance, good. Destructive goals that include cocaine and Mexican drug cartels, bad. Let's see how the guy in this next story did with achieving his goals. California officials have arrested Alexander Sufer, who allegedly used tens of millions of taxpayer dollars meant to house and feed the homeless to fund his lavish lifestyle. These people are obviously not checking out Wednesday edition. I want to tell you a little bit about his organization, Abundant Blessings. Now, doesn't that sound nice? It was a South Los Angeles based charity whose purpose was to house and properly feed the estimated 72,000 homeless people living in the greater Los Angeles area. His organization received more than $23 million in taxpayer funds for the purpose of housing and feeding the homeless. So, California was pushing this money out quick, and a lot of money went out the door with really very little checks and balances. So, this guy provided fake invoices to make vendors appear to be legitimate. He used the money to put a down payment on his $7 million mansion, to pay for his children's private school tuition. Oh, and to purchase a $125,000 Range Rover. You thought the fraud was bad in Minnesota. California has spent $24 billion in the last 5 years on homelessness, and no one can account for where that money has really gone, except for this guy's mansion, college tuitions, and Range Rover. My goal each week is to bring you Wednesday edition without fraud, without fake invoices, without cocaine trafficking, and without Mexican drug cartels. Just me. Some thoughts, some energy, some opinions, some fun, and some information. We also try to talk every week about ways to improve our lives, right, people? We try to inform, we try to educate, we try to give information that we think will better people's lives and motivate them to do their own research and maybe grow their own opinions. Amen for freedoms. We try to discuss strategies and solutions to help people achieve these things, like living in the moment, setting goals, discipline, eating the right stuff, breathing, and even simple stuff like drinking enough water. I honestly can't remember at any time during any edition of Wednesday edition did we ever suggest creating fake invoices or hooking up with Iranian drug dealers or rioting in the streets of your hometown. You know, I do still wish I would have thought of opening those child care centers without children, though. Genius. Amen for Wednesdays. And amen for the Wednesday edition community. You know, I try to hold an arsenal of practices in my life that help myself lead a better, healthier, and fulfilling life. It may seem like a small thing, but one thing I really try my best to do each day is drive the speed limit. People, it is my opinion that the speed limit is set for our safety. I also do my best to drive the speed limit in the right lane of traffic. Some days, as we were saying, there are obstacles that the powers above place in our paths to help us maneuver life and help us become stronger. So, the other day, there I am, cruising down the road in the Prius in the right lane, minding my business, doing the speed limit on my way home from the gym. A car rolls up behind me, riding my Wednesday edition ass with plenty of room to pass me using the left lane. But for some reason, this person doesn't. I had to move into the left lane at the speed limit to allow the person to speed past me in the right lane. Is everybody following? Apologies for not providing a diagram. But seriously, what the fuck? You see, people, even when we are trying to do the best we can, to do the right thing, to live to the best of our abilities, and simply drive the speed limit, there are obstacles. Okay, I meant to say opportunities for growth, right? That's how we have to look at them for our own sanity. I really hope that you take some of these words and hold them through the week. Maybe the next time you decide to commit fraud or traffic some drugs into the country, you will pause, breathe, and think about making a better choice and think about opportunities for growth. Amen, people. Amen for growth. Amen for Wednesday. And amen for opportunities, right? I feel really good about this week's edition so far. I hope maybe you walk away knowing something you didn't know, thinking about something you never thought of, and maybe deciding to make a better choice than the one you were going to make. Your good pal Scott is just a few clicks away. Feel free to reach out to me with any concerns, with any comments, thoughts, ideas, or anything. I'm not too hard to find. And I still have a plethora of free t-shirts. Plethora. Keep cash alive, do some research, and Google these 3 things this week, people. Number 1, Google drug dealing snowboarder. Read up on a guy who set some goals and achieved them until he ran into the cartel. Number 2, Google fraud in California. But only Google this if you have a lot of time to do some reading and a lot of research, right, people? And number 3, Google obstacles being used as opportunities. It's a very simple mindset that I know each and every one of you can maintain. Remember, the price we pay for associating with the wrong people is enough reason for us to be stricter about who we keep in our circles, right? The Mexican drug cartel story is a perfect example of associating with the wrong people. We covered some ugly stuff tonight, but we covered some good stuff too, right? You gotta love Wednesdays. Okay, It's that time. The top 5 songs from January 28th, 1988. By the way, California Governor Gavin Newsom was like 21 in 1988. Just saying. All right. A little water, and then let's do this. Number 5, Shake Your Love, Debbie Gibson. Seriously starting the countdown off with Debbie flippin' Gibson? That song sucks. 0 for 1. Number 4, Got My Mind Set on You, George Harrison. He was the quiet Beatle, right? Huge album in 1988. Solid song. 1 for 2. All right. January 28th, 1988. Number 3 song, So Emotional. Whitney Houston. Pre-crack Whitney, right? We'll give her a pass. We'll give her a pass on this one. 2 for 3. Number 2, The Way You Make Me Feel, Michael Jackson. Now, we all hope he wasn't writing this song about Corey Feldman, right? It's still a good song. 3 for 4. And the number 1 song from January 28th, 1988, Need You Tonight, INXS. You know, I've said it before. The best song on the countdown should be number 1, right? Slide over here. Give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. Remember? It was a cool song. Cool band. I like it. I like it. Look at your obstacles as opportunities this week. Avoid protesters. Avoid fraud. And try to avoid Debbie flippin' Gibson. Do the speed limit and don't get trafficked. It's been a wonderful edition of Wednesday Edition this week. I'm really glad you joined me on this 20-minute spew of my creative thoughts and energies. Wednesday Edition. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m., Instagram, YouTube, and scottleisure.com. Subscribe to the YouTube, people. Look at subscribing to the YouTube as an opportunity, right? Thank you, my friends. Be good, stay safe, and remain vigilant. Make it a good week.